Next up is David Hicks, Vice President, Worldwide ISV Cloud Strategy, Business Development and Marketing at Oracle. David is responsible for cloud strategy, business development, marketing, and enablement for Oracle's worldwide ISV sales business unit. Welcome, David. Thank you, and very glad to have you.
Yeah, no, and first, thanks for having me. It was a pleasure to be here and get to speak with you and folks attending your summit. I honestly, I think events like this are vitally important. As much as we can think that we're all different, and we are in some cases, as far as the solutions that we have, how we build it, the customers that we serve, how we sell it, how we support it, how we deliver it. At the end, there is commonalities and threads. And there's a lot of folks out there that have been there, done this, multiple times. And I think summits like this, by sharing best practices, opinions, and advice, help you maybe do things faster, more innovative, hopefully let you skip some steps and not make mistakes others have, and then more importantly, maybe again, accelerate more successfully, how to do this and skip, some steps along the way that you don't really necessarily always need to take. So love the fact that, in your summits, you're getting, business-minded folks all the way through into the technical, because I do think that a lot of folks do focus on how do we technology-wise, get to the cloud, move to the cloud. And I will just challenge folks, definitely think about the business components of what you guys are doing as well, and the new models that you might employ, pricing, sales, sales forces, marketplaces, the different things you've got as well. So, take advantage of opportunities like this. It's great for me to listen in on my peers and folks as well. I learn something all the time, and hopefully some of what I shared today was valuable in terms of that for the people listening to us today as well.
David, can you tell us what is Oracle's strategy for ISVs?
Well, thanks. It's actually a great question. What Oracle has done in general, is kind of first the foundation and the building block, is really what we've done with what we call OCI, or Oracle Cloud Infrastructure. What we really did is we went back and we built, the cloud from the ground up, with people and expertise that had built public clouds before. One of the major kind of lenses and filters that we used was Oracle itself is one of the largest ISVs in the world. And we needed a platform, both at the infrastructure layer, compute, network, storage, up through some of the value add platform as a service, how you do integration, data management and such, that was able to actually handle, the scale and the needs of our enterprise SaaS business. What we then kind of did that I think was very, unique, is kind of the zero hypocrisy model. The exact same cloud that we can use to run our largest customers is what we actually make available, to our ISV partners as well. And there's obviously a lot of benefits based on the way that we built, Oracle Cloud. We talk about scale and performance, up to 5 times faster than other public clouds. As an example, talking about things like SLAs that are, leading in the industry around not just performance, but accessibility and things like, error rates. The beauty about all of this is the way we've architected it. We also help ISVs with cost reduction, right? We're at least usually typically 30% less expensive than other public clouds. And that's before you go into things like using autonomous services where you can reduce things further. And all of this, of course, is done, with a very heavy mind, to security, data protection, high availability, everything that an ISV is going to expect. At the end of the day, we recognize that your application is your business. And if you pick the wrong cloud, you're out of business or a very bad reputation or paying penalties to your customers. So we want to make sure we give you, the industry leading cloud that enables you to, service your customers in the way that you sell and position, your product.
How do you envision partner integrators like SuneraTech providing professional services playing a key role in enabling ISVs succeed leveraging cloud?
Yes, we've had a lot of ISVs that look for exactly the type of partner that you are and the services that you offer. You've obviously got ISVs that have been in business for a very long time and they have a more kind of, legacy or on-premise based solution. That their first step into the cloud is kind of a lift and shift. When they do that, they don't have experience in necessarily how to do that, how to take advantage of cloud, how to take advantage of the unique, features and options of Oracle Cloud, nor do they know how to actually administer, and manage their customers in the cloud. And even just the migration part itself, as you move customers, kind of one by one, I think is very hard for some folks to do. So I think, that early stage of kind of, not necessarily re-architecting, but improving, lifting and shifting and managing, in the cloud is essential, to ISVs. And a lot of them don't, as I mentioned, have that in their first step into the cloud. Others then obviously, though, I truly believe are taking that step of, looking at cloud native or truly modernizing, their application as well. And again, I think that's a great opportunity for a company such as yourself, to get involved, provide that, I guess more advanced, innovation, type of approach of how do you do things in the cloud in a way you could never do it, on premise, and architect, in the best manner to deliver, again, the true benefits of, security, of performance, of scalability, of cost, all the things that, are going to be delivered. And that's something that a lot of ISVs don't necessarily have those skills up front, or they don't have enough of them, so you can actually provide that, and become that trusted partner to them. And I've seen it be a very successful model, across the world with a lot of our ISVs, and it really helps them accelerate their journey to the cloud.
What are the unique differentiators of Oracle Cloud for ISVs from technical and financial value?
Yeah, absolutely. And I alluded to a few of them, right? And I could go on forever, I feel like, on this topic. One of my favorite ones, but, it is very important. Why Oracle Cloud for an ISV, the software vendor themselves versus an end user. I love working with ISVs. It's a very different decision and a process for them, given, again, the nature of, how important picking a cloud provider is to your business. Let me go through just a couple of these, and I think this is along the lines of what repeatably resonates and partners are actually looking for from us. First of all, as I really did talk about that price performance advantage. It's not good giving a cheaper solution if it doesn't work. It's not good giving a faster solution if you have to pay more for it. But having a true price performance advantage over on-prem solutions, over other public cloud providers, even over how you can do things in your own data center, kind of a colo private cloud, being able to deliver that with all the true promises of cloud, is critical. And that is important as you try to deliver on the promise of, cost being, less expensive. I mentioned the enterprise SLAs, right? A lot of folks will give you an SLA of whether or not you can get to the, your software in the cloud. But if they take it down for patches, if maybe it's a little bit slower than it's supposed to be, those types of SLAs don't kick in, right? So Oracle, understanding the SaaS business, actually does that, right? As far as availability, manageability, and performance, something that you can build, your SLAs and stand behind, with the comfort that Oracle's backing you up as well. I talked about autonomous services, and autonomous database is probably the one that we're most known for. Obviously, there's things such as reducing human error, better availability, but also things like being able to cut costs in the folks that administer those services by up to 80%. It doesn't mean you're going to let people go, but it's going to give you the ability to redeploy those folks into a better area. I think another one is the robust security that we talk about, having kind of comprehensive data and access controls for your systems is something that's very important, in the world that we live in today, especially, more work from home and how people are accessing it. I think cloud deployment flexibility is very important. You know, as an ISV, you could be running on-prem, you could be running in the public cloud. You might need to have a cloud at customer solution where you put, you know, a cloud system behind the customer's firewall is an example, right? And being able to do it with the system architected runs the exact same way in all of those places. And the last two ones that I'll just hit on quickly and probably expound upon, you know, here in a bit. You know, one is our enterprise customer base. You know, one, knowing that, you know, we can do it, you can as well. Second, though, you know, and we'll highlight on it, I think that enterprise customer base gives you a great opportunity to partner with Oracle and go after it, you know, as far as somebody that's looking for solutions, integrating to our products and offering that up. And then lastly, just the ability and the ease of purchasing Oracle Cloud, right? You know, we have a concept called universal credits, allows you to buy the cloud that you need, but not worry about sizing it correctly, different prices and different data centers. It's truly, you know, a universal currency for you to buy anything we have today or in the future, and really gives you some price assurance in how you price and, you know, deliver your product, you know, throughout the world as well. So I know that was, you know, a little bit deeper. Thanks for bearing with me, but, you know, those are the types of things that, you know, partners are really looking for today and coming to Oracle for specifically.
What are some of the specific use cases of ISV workloads, whether Oracle workloads like Oracle database or other workloads like Microsoft database or applications that can use Oracle Cloud virtual machines or bare metal or even high performance computing on Oracle Cloud infrastructure?
Yeah, and that's actually probably my favorite question of all, because I love talking about our partners. I love talking about what they do. And I think, you know, in a lot of cases, you know, they tell our story, you know, better than we do. You know, you've got a lot of diversity in the Oracle base. You've got partners that had a complete on-premise Oracle solution. A lot of folks say in the warehouse and management supply chain, to where they came to Oracle because all of their customers, you know, that they had on premise ran on a full Oracle stack underneath their software. And so obviously Oracle Cloud is the best place to run, you know, Oracle in that model as well. Those same providers then are building their next gen cloud, you know, on Oracle as well, taking advantage of a lot of things that we've talked about. What's kind of interesting, you know, as well, that I do want people to think about, you know, is also folks that have their own, you know, for example, first, you know, their own private, you know, data centers where they're trying to deliver and manage their own cloud services. Companies like, you know, Exactly, Workforce Software, that have lifted and shifted those into the Oracle Cloud, and have seen it give them, you know, a 30% increase in performance with a 60% cost saving, you know, as an example, you know, and the ability to do that at scale kind of globally. When you get into HPC, as you've mentioned, you know, systems and solutions like Siemens, Altair, Ansys, Rescale, you know, Cisco, and some of these solutions, interestingly enough, may not have even an Oracle database behind them. But what's interesting in those is that, based again on the way we've architected it, you know, they've seen 15–20% increase in CPU utilization with Oracle versus the competitors, which you can imagine goes to cost. They've got a 60 times, not 60%, 60 times performance improvement versus even their on-premise best solutions. And then they're able to deliver this, you know, immediately, you know, in the cloud as well. And I guess one, since we're on it, you know, here today as well, that I find, you know, very interesting, you know, is a company like Zoom, you know, somebody that came to Oracle, you know, and within a week was actually live and hosting customers on the Oracle Cloud. And if you think of Zoom today, right, 280,000 plus people on Zoom every hour, 300 unique million users, you know, a month, you know, petabytes and petabytes of data, and being able to deliver that, you know, again, cost effectively at scale, and really hoping, you know, this kind of crazy world that we're in today with COVID. So, you know, kind of netting that out, you know, great solution for Oracle. The best place to run Oracle is the Oracle Cloud, but having a solution that, you know, is incredibly, you know, successful for non-Oracle as well. You know, we do have, as you mentioned, customers that are running Microsoft SQL Server, you know, on Windows images in the Oracle Cloud, because it's faster and more cost effective than they can do it, somewhere like, Azure, with what we've done with VMware now by helping all of those customers, be able to really bring their solutions and their, workloads to the cloud as well. I think you're going to find that, we're probably one of the most open clouds, not something Oracle's traditionally known for, and hopefully, by some of these examples, that gives you some insight into that, and how we can actually help, other ISVs do this as well.
David, what are the top 3 reasons why ISVs should consider Oracle Cloud?
Yeah, no, thanks. Love to bring it home and point that out. There are 3, easy things that I'd ask everybody to remember, right? First and foremost is the value of the platform, kind of the technology itself, right? So we do believe and have proved that we have the best cloud, especially for enterprise applications, mission critical solutions and ISVs in the cloud today, right? So the value of the platform absolutely stands on its own and delivers what you need. Second is that commercial side of it as well, right? Not only do you get the performance, but you get it at a price that's going to be less than other public cloud providers. We give you, easy to use contracts and methods to make sure you can go to business with your customers the way you want to, including industry leading SLAs, and our universal credit model, so that you have the ability to buy any service you need today or in the future based on the investment you already have, and deploy that in any data center in the world at the same price, so that you can have, a very standardized pricing model yourself. And then lastly, this is the one that we didn't hit on. I challenge people to look at Oracle as, a true partner, a true go-to-market partner in the cloud, right? Whether you're doing things such as, just leveraging, Oracle if you're a smaller ISV in terms of what we can do to promote you, through press releases and, helping you with, video references, documentations, positioning of Oracle Cloud, sales enablement for your sales force, all the way up to giving you the ability to integrate into our on-premise products, which a lot of folks still use and are still trying to modernize, but more importantly into our SaaS portfolio, right? Our CX, customer experience, our ERP and NetSuite, we're the industry leader. It's giving you the ability to integrate in and extend and enhance those products, and then take that to market, through the Oracle sales teams and to our customers to give you a whole new route to market that you can't with anybody else. Marketplaces, that let you easily deploy and even sell your solutions through Oracle as well. The list is just numerous, but I will challenge you to definitely look at Oracle, in a different light as far as a solid go-to-market partner in the cloud as well. So again, we've got the right technology, we've got it at the right price and the models that you need to be able to leverage it. And then of course, we think most importantly, we can help you top line as well, expand and sell, to more customers and get into new markets by working with Oracle as well.
David, thank you for joining us and sharing your valuable insights. Really appreciate it. Thank you.
Great. It's a pleasure to be here.